Hello everybody, welcome back to Wolfeei. Today we're going to be looking at the MCC Reddit yet again. Don't mind me. Here we go. First though, before we have today's video topic, which is talking about nostalgic MCC, should it happen still, regardless of MCC Party 2, we have some stuff to mention. First of all, my Black Wars Origins team got announced. Look at how fun it is. I look forward to this team. Team Spiel, yay! I got 2 Spiels on my team, and I love Pokemon. And Kalen likes Pokemon. Swiffies doesn't know what a Spiel is, so it's gonna be a great time. And yeah, anyways, so that's the first thing. Second thing, today, okay, this video will be up today. I'm recording this right before I take a nap. Today we have MCC. I'm gonna be doing a prediction stream before the event, so it's gonna be within the maybe 2.5 hours before the event on twitch.tv/Wolfeei. There will be MCC predictions. We usually do these usually get a lot of attendance. If you want to be there, it's a fun experience for some people. For some it's not, but usually it's a little fun, engaging experience where, we try to look at who has a good chance of winning, who does stand the best chance at winning. What we're mainly going to be looking at, because it is party and things are going to be a little bit different, is who's going to win which game, for the most part, right? The overall win percentage chance is going to be very up in the air because of how different the format is, but alas, I think if you have followed along with MCC Party, you'll understand why that's the case. And then lastly as well, on Sunday, tomorrow, there's Buy and Battle. My team, Buy and Battle, just a reminder, Buy and Battle Jingle Jam event. Tune in at 7 p.m. GMT, 2 p.m. Eastern. Please, thank you. Okay, this is, yes, during the time of PB. If you don't plan to watch PB, go watch me, please. Thank you. Anyways, on to the main course of today's video. This Reddit post was made, and it's a Reddit post that, based on what I'm seeing, didn't gain a lot of traction, wasn't heavily disagreed with. I can't see the dislike or downvote percentage on this post. I'm going to assume that it wasn't the most well received, but also not like necessarily poorly received post. I think it's just an innocent post that some people maybe just didn't really pay attention to. However, let's get into it, because I think it brings up an interesting point that I think a lot of people kind of forgot about, and I also don't want this to take away from this upcoming MCC at all, because I don't think it is that deep. It is just something that should be brought up because there was an expectation for this event caused by the community. Let's set that record straight. There was an expectation for the 5th year anniversary event of MCC to be a throwback event by the community. The Nox crew never acknowledged this, as far as we're aware. Never was it said that this was going to happen. This was an expectation because it just made sense. We expected, or at least the community expected, that for every anniversary event it would be something unique and something brand new. So they said an anniversary event that's a throwback makes the most sense. However, that's not what ended up happening. We did get a little bit of a, hint of that. I'll explain in a little bit as well, but that did not end up happening. Thus, this post was made, and I'll read it out a little bit. As excited as I am for this upcoming MCC, I, like many, thought we were going to get a throwback OG Classic MCC to celebrate the 5-year anniversary, and don't get me wrong, I like the MCC 30-year style you guys went with. Just know that you can do a throwback MCC at any time. You don't need a special occasion to do that. I don't know if the Nox thought of this or saw a post about it, so that's decided against it before we don't have a throwback MCC. So, this already mentions it in the MCC Party 2 update video. If you didn't watch it, or if you didn't know already, they did mention that there is, at least to an extent, some throwbacks to MCC. This kind of showcases the little bit of Dodgebolt already, and the maps that are included and the games that are included in this event are based on the years throughout MCC. What was introduced when? For example, this Battle Box map is the first ever Battle Box map ever from MCC 1, or one of the first MCCs that Battle Box was in. And then throughout the announcements they have, see Signature Side, which has only Season 1 maps. You see early Season 2 material here with Build Mart SRT type stuff. Grid Runners was newly introduced Season 2, etc, etc. I talked about this in the last video, about the updates and everything being explained. So there is a throwback MCC hint. There is a little sprinkling of flavor of MCC throwback. However, I think people really want a proper throwback. And the main question that I want to look into for this video is, should it happen? This person mentions it doesn't need to be an anniversary event, but I think it makes the most sense to be on an anniversary event time. I do agree. If they were to want to do different spin-off events or special events throughout 2025 without just doing half the things that they did for this series or season and then also half the things that they've done previously, then sure, a throwback can be thrown into the mix as a fun little special event to, just have. Question is, what qualifies for a throwback event? Because similar to All-Stars, and I know this might be silly, why is All-Stars being brought up? But similarly to All-Stars, the community's interpretation of a throwback MCC may be vastly different from what the Noxtrew interprets the throwback MCC to be. I know a lot of people mention, oh, bring the old roster back, or at least what you can bring back from old roster, bring the old roster back. Make the game roster as similar as possible to the first ever MCC. Is that feasible? We don't know. To what extent can the throwback go? What's the cap of who can play in a throwback MCC? Is there a cap to who can play in a throwback MCC? What games can be included? What's considered OG or throwback enough for, this special event? There is a lot of wiggle room, a lot of range to work with, and I think that may be one of the factors that comes into play as to why this won't happen. It is not a definitive enough concept. Is it interesting? Yes, but it would need to be very clear what's wanted, and then also needs to be looked at whether Noxtrew would do this, because it's mainly on Noxtrew to obviously bring the OG feel of the event, and it's on Scott to bring the OG roster to an extent. Like I mentioned, a lot of that is impossible to do nowadays, but he could try, I guess, right? You could bring back maybe like Joey and Strawberry. Or you could bring back somebody else, probably. There's probably other people that have been in or maybe played like a year ago or not that long ago that could be considered for a throwback event to an extent, right? Either way, I think the argument of doing a throwback MCC is definitely something that can be talked about. This is a fun topic of discussion. We can talk about this in more depth maybe on the Reddit, etc. after party and or during the break early next year. We can talk about, throwback MCC stuff. Should it happen? What should be included, etc., etc. And please, I challenge you, Redditors and fandom of MCC, to just get very creative with it. And this is not something to do right now. Obviously, now we are focused on MCC Party 2. Do this after. Just afterwards, whether it's this month or early next year, just get creative with these types of ideas that are thrown around. Really deep dive into it. If you have an idea, if you're passionate about MCC, I bet you can get creative with it to a point where it might even have influence on the Noxtrew's decision making for 2025. Because I'm going to be super honest, the Noxtrew look at the Reddit all the time. I would be shocked if there was never a Reddit idea that at least had influence on something in MCC. I would be surprised. There's been Reddit things on Blockwars where I've been like, that would be cool. I've never directly, copy pasted someone's idea, but sometimes I'm like, this could be something to consider. Somebody had a cool idea. I think that could work here too. So if you think a throwback MCC could work, make a convincing argument for it. Okay, make a convincing argument. Give examples. So what specifically do you want to see? Why should it happen? Etc. 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 Because I agree, an anniversary MCC a throwback MCC would be really fun, really cool, and I also was thinking that was going to happen. However, I'm also very happy with MCC Party 2 being in, and I also am in agreement that a throwback MCC could just happen at any time. Is it a little bit weird if it's in like May randomly or something, right? Over, November. Yeah, November would make the most sense if it was going to be a thing, but regardless, I don't know. Also, another thing to mention is the format of Throwback MCC is, like mentioned, kind of being done with the game roster that's in Party. And then also, as much as it's not the same thing, Ender Cup, which isn't loading, if you don't remember, Ender Cup had a game pool, or at least, yeah, it wasn't a game, you know, it wasn't like in order of updates, but it was a game pool where the maps were based off of Minecraft updates throughout the history of Minecraft. You could adapt that same style into just, obviously, Throwback MCC and kind of do what they already did here, but make it more Throwback. Probably more so thinking go back to the OG maps for the most part. Obviously things like Ace Race, you'd have to do Clouds too, probably. I think you can't really do too much with that. But like Meltdown couldn't be included. I think that's too recent. Meltdown can't be in. The modern day Parkour Warrior, unless the side paths are and main paths are, you know, exist only or mainly out of things from the first parkour map, sure. Otherwise, that can't really be included. That's too recent. Railroad obviously couldn't be included, etc. Those are all things that you'd need to consider. So, anyways, I think the idea is brought along. Also, forgot to mention Daily December, Day 7. We've now done a week. I've been absolutely horribly slacking for this Daily December this year. I'm a little disappointed in myself because this is usually the thing that I feel like is always a special little moment, and I've kind of just been super distracted by other things. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Again, reminder, this is my Block Wars Origins team for the next week Saturday, not today. And then I'm going to be live today streaming the predictions for MCC, and then I have a buy and battle team right here for tomorrow as well on Sunday. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye.